Do you want more power, discipline, and wisdom? These traits are sought after greatly, particularly by men, and the majority of you watching are men. But there is a difference between being a good man, and there is a difference between understanding how to be good at being a man. And the same applies for women. And these components of strength, mastery, discipline, courage, and honor is something that is lacking among many people. Power, the ability or capacity to do something or act in a particular way, or the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or course of events. Power is derived from self-mastery and betterment. To gain more power is to gain more control over yourself and others. Gaining power is not malevolent. Gaining power is an important pillar to a greater life that understands people better and understands how to solve problems more effectively. You can have all the technical skills in the world. You can read all the books you want. But if you don't have the ability to communicate assertively, confidently, with succinctness, and you're not good with people and understanding how to read body language, human behavior, and emotions, to communicate with the opposite sex, to understand their needs, and understand the massive variation, but commonalities that we all have and all share, then your potential will be stultified. You will not be the person and do the things that you want to do, and the person you ultimately can be. Power is understanding what motivates and incentivizes people. This is important in any dynamic relationship, whether with a significant other, whether in a business workplace, or whether on a sporting team. If you understand what incentivizes and motivates and inspires your family, friends, peers, and colleagues, then you gain greater control over the outcome, and to gain a favorable outcome in your shoes and theirs. Everybody wins. However, you might think, is this manipulation? You see, manipulation has become this dirty word. The reality is, we are all manipulating each other at all times. To manipulate is to handle and control something or someone in a skillful manner. We all want and desire greater control. Do you know how to do that? Discipline. The practice of training people to obey the rules or a code of behavior, using punishment to correct disobedience. But discipline is more than enforcement onto others. Discipline is an enforcement of your own code of conduct and your own rules and standards and axioms onto yourself. What are your standards? Do you apply them consistently to yourself, and do you hold yourself to a high standard, and do you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, regardless of whether you feel like it or not? That is discipline. I don't care how good you are at anything. If you don't have discipline, you ain't anybody. You ain't nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline. Discipline is doing what you hate doing, but doing it like you love it. Mike Tyson. Cultivating discipline is like cultivating a muscle. Do you understand how to intelligently cultivate this muscle, or are you lost, undisciplined, unmotivated, and weak? It takes a courageous man or woman to be able to admit that they are. But we all were at some point, and we all are currently in some way. It is the constant aspiration to betterment, to being a better man or woman, that is the answer. Wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. However, good judgment comes from experience, and experience typically comes from bad judgment. However, you do not have to make all the mistakes. You can learn the wisdom passed down by others, like I have done on this channel, and I've done through my writings and videos, and those above me, elders and mentors and authors and philosophers above me. You see, we don't have to make the same mistakes they made. We can learn and assimilate their wisdom. Choose your leaders with wisdom and forethought. To be led by a coward is to be controlled by all that the coward fears. To be led by a fool is to be led by the opportunists who control the fool. To be led by a thief is to offer up your most precious treasures to be stolen. To be led by a liar is to ask to be told lies. To be led by a tyrant is to sell yourself and those you love into slavery. Octavia E. Butler. For those of you who have made it this far, you obviously care more than others about power, discipline, and wisdom. And so what I have done is I've created a community, a tribe, a gang for people who have prioritized these values and care about betterment in these areas and surpassing their competitors and peers and getting an edge. So below is a link to a Patreon. I've created a Patreon, and this is where you can get unfiltered access to me, whether it's questions you have and you want a personal video reply from, or whether you want to see book summaries that I've never summarized, or you want to see early access to all videos that I've never released, or that I won't release for a very long time. You will get access unfiltered to me, whether that's a community private Discord chat, or whether that's seeing unreleased writings on philosophy, self-development, psychology, on essentially any controversial topic that I've never publicized and released before. If you really want more power, wisdom, and discipline, then the community and Patreon below may be for you.